Have you ever been lying in bed? Everything is fine, life is good, and then your brain suddenly reminds you about that thing you said 4 years ago. Maybe you called your teacher mom, maybe you waved at someone who wasn't waving at you, maybe you barked at a girl in middle school. Whatever it was, your brain remembers. And for the next 30 seconds, you physically want to evaporate, which raises a question. Why does cringe hurt? Like, actually hurt? You aren't in danger? Nobody is attacking you. Most of the people involved probably forgot it happened. So why does your brain treat remembering an awkward moment like a federal emergency? Well, what is cringe? Let's start with what cringe actually is. Because contrary to popular belief, cringe is not a TikTok dance. Cringe is not a furry convention, and cringe is definitely not your uncle trying to use Gen Z slang. Although those things can certainly produce it, cringe is a social emotion, meaning it only exists because other humans exist. Imagine you're the last person alive. No humans, no society. No internet, no comment section, no Twitter. You could spend your entire day making dinosaur noises while wearing a traffic cone on your head. Nobody would care. In fact, there would be nobody available to judge you. Cringe would literally stop existing. Which means cringe isn't about doing something weird, it's about other people seeing you do something weird. Or worse, you imagining that they did. Now, to understand why this happens, we need to talk about your brain. Unfortunately, your brain is old. Not your specific brain, that thing barely remembers where you left your charger. I mean, the human brain evolved hundreds of thousands of years ago, back when being socially rejected was kind of a big deal. Imagine you're caveman Steve. Steve lives with 40 other cavemen. One day, Steve decides he's going to be annoying. Nobody likes Steve. The tribe kicks Steve out. Now Steve is alone. No food, no protection, no tribe. Steve gets eaten by a wolf. Skill issue, the point is, back then, social rejection wasn't embarrassing. It was dangerous. So your brain evolved a system that basically says,
hey, maybe don't do things that make everyone hate you.
And that's where cringe comes from. It's your brain trying to keep you socially alive, even if it's being extremely dramatic about it. Why old memories attack at night? But here's the weird part. Why do cringe memories always show up at night? You're brushing your teeth, everything is normal. Then suddenly your brain goes, remember when you said you too, after the waiter told you to enjoy your meal? And now you're fighting demons in the bathroom mirror. What's happening? Well, your brain loves reviewing mistakes, because mistakes are useful. If you accidentally touched a hot stove, your brain wants to remember that. If you embarrassed yourself in front of 200 people, your brain wants to remember that too. The problem is, your brain doesn't understand scale. It treats almost got eaten by a bear and mispronounced a word in 7th grade with suspiciously similar levels of urgency. Why we cringe at other people. Why is watching somebody else's awkward moment painful? Imagine watching somebody confidently tell a joke. Nobody laughs. The room goes silent. Your soul leaves your body. Why? Because your brain instantly imagines itself in that situation. It's basically secondhand embarrassment. You're not cringing at them. You're cringing at the imaginary version of yourself, which is honestly kind of selfish. The internet made everything worse. Unfortunately, the internet entered the chat. And the internet is absolutely terrible for cringe. Because humans used to embarrass themselves in front of maybe 20 people. Now you can embarrass yourself in front of 20 million, forever. The plot twist, here's the plot twist though, cringe is actually a good sign. Think about it. The reason old memories make you cringe is because you've changed. If you look back at your old self and think, wow, I was weird. Congratulations, you've grown. The only people who never cringe at their past selves are either lying, or exactly the same person they were 10 years ago, which is arguably worse. Cringe is evidence of character development. It's proof your brain learned something, even if it insists on reminding you at 2:13 a.m. How to stop cringing? Well, bad news. You probably can't completely stop. Your brain likes doing this too much, but you can remember one thing. Nobody thinks about your embarrassing moments nearly as much as you do. Seriously, everyone is busy replaying their own cringe compilations. You think people are remembering that awkward thing you said in 2021? They're not. They're busy remembering the awkward thing they said in 2021. Everyone is the main character of their own disaster movie. Ending. So the next time your brain decides to remind you of that embarrassing thing you did, just remember the reason it hurts, the reason it feels awful, the reason your soul attempts to uninstall itself is because your brain is trying its best to keep you socially alive. It's just using software that was designed for cavemen. And cavemen, respectfully, were not built for TikTok.